hospitality staff.
I know. I mean, and the fact that when he got in, he made it to the East Room. He overpowered a Secret Service agent and almost made it into the president's quarters. I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, thank God the president wasn't in the White House at the time. He was somewhere else in town. So it was just unbelievable. So, yeah. But yesterday, that was Julia Pearson was in hot water on Capitol Hill when they had that hearing over why something like this happened. And one of the congressmen, I forget his name, but he held up a sign of ADT. He said, "You ever hear of ADT? Maybe we should install this in the White House." Yeah. So.
Anyways, we also have our update on the race for governor. Andrew Cuomo has said that he will agree to do 2 debates with my good friend, the Republican challenger, Rob Astorino, the current Westchester County executive. And one debate will be downstate. It will be on radio. It won't be televised. And it will be with WNYC and the Wall Street Journal. Yet, the Cuomo camp has never officially had talks with the Astorino campaign, and the Astorino campaign never got the invitation from WNYC or the Wall Street Journal until it was found in one of the campaign aides' junk mail. And then Cuomo wants to have a televised debate upstate in Buffalo, where the Green Party candidate Howie Hawkins will be involved in it. And now my big problem is that there have been 6 debate invitations sent out to Astorino. Astorino has accepted all of them, and yet Cuomo, he wants to go play his own game. He did that in the primary. Cuomo didn't allow for Teach Out or any of the progressives to really have their say, and I think that reflected in his polling. 34% voted for Teach Out and 6% voted for the other progressive candidate. And that looks very weak for a person who thinks that he's going to be president in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely a lack of communication there between Cuomo and Astorino. I mean, Cuomo definitely should have either accepted or declined the invitation.
Well, we have to remember that Andrew Cuomo has nothing to really defend, really. I mean, he has made some accomplishments, but if he's there debating Astorino, there are going to be questions that he isn't going to want to answer, and quite frankly, he believes that radio is better for him than television. Also, why was he over in Afghanistan this weekend, and not campaigning? Everything he's doing now has been through the prism of politics. I mean, being governor of New York State, it's a very, very powerful position, but he has no power whatsoever over the National Guard or any foreign matters. So why is he over there? Again, everything is done through the prism of politics, just like the rebate checks that have been going out, and a lot of them are donating the money from the rebate checks over to Astorino's campaign, so they don't buy that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see maybe after the election season he takes a trip to Afghanistan, but there's really no point in going to Afghanistan. He's not an intelligence official or anything like that. That he has to. It's necessary to go there. But
no, I mean, Astorino called for, in the beginning of the campaign, 8 regional debates. There should have been 8 regional debates between Cuomo and Astorino, as Astorino is the only other person that actually has a legitimate chance of taking down Cuomo. And whoever says that, quite frankly, is a little bit delusional. I'm sorry to say that, but when you're polling at 15% and you aren't a major candidate, you don't really have a chance to win the election. Anyways, we also have this Ebola outbreak down in Dallas, Texas. Everything's always bigger in Texas, isn't it?
Well, actually, I just got word a few moments ago that, according to CBS News, that the guy who has Ebola was released from the hospital, but there was never any. The nurse never interviewed him, and any of that stuff. So they released him, and yet he had contact with school children, middle-aged school children, and now those children are being monitored.
I think that it's just absurd and horrific that in a first world nation and country like the United States of America that we have an Ebola outbreak. And you know what? I am most definitely not against immigration, but I do support stronger immigration laws where, you just don't have people waltzing into this country and saying, I'm here, give me my citizenship. I believe that if you do it properly, and that you should be able to come here. If you follow the right paperwork, but follow the paperwork over in your country. Don't come here and say, you know what, I'm here from Europe, or I'm here from South America, or I'm here from Asia, or wherever, and say, I'm American now. No, please just go through the paperwork and do it properly. And, when you have such an influx of illegal immigrants coming in, you get all these bad vices, I believe. You get the drugs, you get all these things. All of a sudden you have to start taking care of 30,000 people and all their viruses. I mean, that's just not something that we need right now.
Yeah, I mean, President Obama seems to have confidence in the CDC, and the CDC chief had a press conference yesterday just assuring the public that all appropriate actions are being taken and all precautions at the hospital, at Texas Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas. The ambulance that this man was transported in is being placed out of commission until further notice to take precautionary measures. And, we wish him all the best. Hopefully he has a full recovery.
Hopefully he has full recovery. And we also hope that no one else gets Ebola, or also that we can stop any other viruses from coming into this country.
Yeah, hopefully, it won't spread to any other states or any other municipalities.
And finally, there's one other subject that we would like to touch on before we go: the ISIS threat. Matt, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't know if airstrikes will be enough because there's no military or intelligence officials on the ground in Iraq or Syria to report back to, the Air Force to say, we killed X number of militants.
Well.
I think eventually we're going to have boots on the ground. I mean, that's a very unfortunate situation if we have to send troops back
I have
there.
a few problems surrounding this whole situation. The first one is the Obama administration is at odds with each other over whether or not they're at war. John Kerry says we aren't at war. Barack Obama and other members of the administration say we are at war. That just shows,
lack of communication.
Yeah, they just aren't cooperating there. Also, a lot of Americans don't know that we are at war. We are at war. The President of the United States declared that we are at war with ISIL. And, seems like Americans, your ordinary American, is just not aware of this. And that bothers me. Just like the ordinary New Yorker does not know about the Moreland Commission, I feel like we need to become more politically involved in this country. And we have to stop being so interested in our personal interests, because ultimately, I went to Cabaret. It's a big Broadway show. I went there last month. And there's a line where one of the characters says, why would we be interested in politics? Politics doesn't impact me at all. And, that's what people thought of Nazi Germany before the Nazis came into power and everything. And ultimately, you could be interested in what's going on TV. You could be interested in shopping at Walmart. But at the end of the day, politics, it does impact everyone, whether you like it or not. And where are we going to be? Passive to all of our problems. So I think that, one, Americans need to become more aware of what's going on. And another thing is, I don't believe airstrikes will be enough to destroy ISIS in Iraq and Syria. ISIS has come here to America. It's unfortunate to say that, but a man in Oklahoma did behead a woman. It's also scary to see that their ideology has spread to our allies, such as those in Britain, and even here at home. So who's to say that ISIS isn't, the guy next door or people in our backyard? I believe that airstrikes are definitely going to help, but we also need a stronger military presence over there. We also need to set up a form of government over there. It's not something that's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next year. It's going to be a long process, and we have to fight this ideologically as well. Just like we fought communism, and we might have to fight communism and socialism again as it has spread here in certain respects.
Yeah, I mean, as Representative Paul Ryan said on one of the morning shows this morning, quote, "Give the military the mission and then stand out of their way and let them do their job." Because
can you repeat that statement, please?
Yes, it's Paul Ryan on one of the morning shows this morning said, "Give the military the mission and then stand out of their way and let them do their job," end quote. He. I definitely agree with him on that one.
I do. I believe that the military has to go there and do what they have to do.
Yeah.
But I was watching CNN a few weeks back, and they're doing their normal interviews of people down the city. Then there's this woman, your average-looking New York woman, and she's in Bryant Park. And then the CNN reporter asks her, "So what do you think of ISIS?" And she says, "Oh, well, this is what happens when we interfere in other people's business." And I'm just listening to that comment, and I'm like, really, this is what happens? So maybe we should just be blind and passive to everything that's going on in the world. Maybe we should just go let these people behead others. But if our country was run by people like her, that would happen. But thank God our country isn't run by people like her. Anyways, Matt.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in this afternoon here from the basement of Lapenta. I'm Matt Ricker.
And I'm Bill Maloney. We will see you again next week.
Take care.